let's just sew whatever. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making the Lauren bag out of this really fun kind of duochrome vinyl. It is so soft. It looks completely different in person than it does on camera, but it's got these wrinkles in it from the deck of a light, but I think they'll kind of relax away over time. We added this fun quilting with some foam and deck of a light, but it is a super fun, easy, quick sew that I hope you will join me in making, and don't forget to subscribe. The very first thing I'm going to do is a little zipper pull surgery because I don't have a light gold zipper pull that I can use for the top of this bag. So I do have a little zipper pull head. I pulled off a dangly pull that I will honestly never use. And I'm going to take this part of my tassel off, save the clip, and I'm going to attach this here. You could even add a little bit of glue to this if you wanted. Couldn't hurt. Has to be the right kind of glue, of course, but then I'm going to close this up. There you go. I think you could potentially maybe even use some resin for that. I don't know. But I'm going to create my tassel now. I'm just going to squeeze in this glue. You can even glue together your tassel vinyl if you wanted to, but I don't think there should be any problem. And then this is going to be just twisted inside. And I like to make sure that where this fold is about where I'm going to be screwing that in. And now if you have strength issues, you're gonna have trouble getting through that vinyl maybe, you can use an awl to stab into it to create a little hole. Sorry for the worst noise in the world. But you want to screw that nice and tight so that it's pretty flush. And then another thing you can do is you can wrap fabric around the center part to cover up that little screw hole, but I think that looks great. So we've done a little zipper pull surgery. Easy peasy. This could definitely be a 1 bobbin bag, but because I'm doing the quilting, I'm going to make 2 bobbins. And then since this video needs to be just 1 hour, I will do a separate video with the quilting in real time to be posted at a later date. So we can go ahead and cut our zipper tape down to size. We need 16. This is for our top zipper. And then I'm going to cut one that's like 12-ish for the other one. And then I'll put those zipper pulls on just so it's ready to go. I am using a bow zipper pull for my other zipper, and that is from geekyhardware.com. And I am using a zipper jig to attach my zipper pull This is not a tool that I can sell any longer. It was a limited time run, but it helps me put my zipper pulls on like perfectly. And then I have that little zipper tab piece that I'm going to use to place my zipper tabs onto my zipper. And you could cut this to like 1 inch wide if you wanted really short tabs. It's up to you. Okay. 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 Sorry. Hopefully editing Lauren takes care of all that. We'll stitch that on. And then I'll cut that apart. So zipper tabs are attached, and we can set this aside for later. And this is for later. You can go ahead and attach your zipper purse feet. And I will do that at 1.5 inches in. So it's going to be 1/2 inch from the 1 inch markings that I created on my back panel. And then the center, yeah. Ooh. That's not the center. Is it the center? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. That is the center. And then there. And so we're going to do our stitch lines. Make sure you leave your tails long. I'm going to do this before I install my purse feet, just so my purse feet are completely out of the way. Or, yeah, they're not in the way. Leave my needle in before I turn the corner. And then right now what I'm doing is I'm using the turn wheel to place my needle where I need it and my reverse lever to adjust where my fabric lays so that I can get my needle down exactly where I need it to be. And then I'll pull my threads to the back and I will tie off matching thread lengths. Perfect. Yeah, I love the way that thread looks. Okay, So then I'm going to use my seam ripper here to just poke the holes for where each one of those zipper pulls, purse feet, is going to go. And I like to make all of those marks going in the same direction because our purse feet will go in the exact same direction of that slit. You could also use screw-on purse feet or rivet purse feet. These are my old school regular old purse feet. So I like to use these, so I'll just insert them and then I'll turn to install and place the washer on and press those open. And then I will add duct tape over top. It's going to add a little extra strength. You could even use glue as well if you'd like. But I'm just going to do 2 lines of duct tape. I feel like this is not something I used to do often, and then I cut my hands one too many times on hardware, so I was like, nah, we're just gonna do it every time. So there's that installed. Set that aside. I figure may as well just get all of our prep. Oh my god, am I really out of 1/2-inch double-sided tape? I'm gonna die. No, it's fine. I'll use 3/4 inch. I don't want to, but I will. So I'm gonna use 3/4 inch double-sided tape along either side, and it's fine. Okay, and then I have learned that if the backing does not peel off in one piece, it's probably because it's not pressed down firmly. So it's trying to lift and kind of peels off. See? Oh. All right, maybe not. Maybe sometimes it just be like that. Okay. And then I'm going to start in the center, leaving a small gap. So that when we fold the strap, it has some room to sit. Okay. My stitch length is set to a 4, 5. It's set to a 5. I don't even know why I said 4. I'm just going to go all the way around. Top stitching 1/8 of an inch from the outside edge. I'm going to get to the bottom. I'm going to leave my needle in and pivot. I feel like I see a lot with handles, people just like stitch the long way and stop, and I'm like, what are you doing? But I guess if you add strap ends, it's okay. But I think you should just practice doing all 4 sides. Just do it for me. Okay. Oh, what was I gonna use the lighter for? Okay. And repeat. And then I think on the strap connectors, I'm gonna do a 3/8 inch top stitch just to keep everything in place before we attach them to the exterior. Excuse me. So starting in the center when you're pressing your handles is going to prevent any weird stretching. And in psyching myself out to make sure I didn't go wobbly on the handle, I went a little wobbly on the handle top stitch, but that's okay. So use a lighter to singe the ends, and then I will trim my excess off the ends just slightly. Okay, and then we'll set those aside. Strap connectors. And no, I have not quilted it yet. Okay, I can't. I'm almost out of this too. Man, I'm out of zipper pulls. I'm out of double-sided tape. Am I even a bag maker? What am I doing with my life? Okay. So folding these in half. And this tape would definitely hold all of this together, but maybe you're making this in 2 separate days, or you might have to walk away from this. It is very helpful to do that 3/8 inch double-sided, 3/8 inch top stitch down the center along either side. However, it does make it a little bit trickier with getting a perfect application of your strap connectors, because you've got that very, very straight top stitch down the center that you now have to then top stitch around to put your connector on your bag. So, you got this. And so I'll just I'll daisy chain them following the 3/8 inch marking on my needle plate. This is a guide that I purchased from Steve at Sewing Gold. I think the new ones actually go up even bigger than just the 5. I think they go all the way to 8, which is cool. And 8 would be 1 inch. Mine goes up to 5/8 because each little mark is a 1/8 inch increment. And then we'll just cut these apart. And I'll put them wrong sides face up. I'll grab my square rings, save my baggie, and then I'm just going to use a little piece of tape. Oh, I don't like this big tape for this. Okay. So I'm going to peel the tape and fold this around. And I like to do like a 2/3 situation, 2/3 and a third on the back. And then I'll add yet another piece of double-sided tape to help when I go to place this, but I can use 3/4 for that, or 1/4. 1/2 inch is better, but let's hold a little bit. And then you want to make sure that your tape does not go outside of where your top stitching lines are going to be, because then, you know, your tape is kind of seen after you stitch it on. I used to do that thinking it doesn't matter. It matters. It matters. And then another thing you want to not do with a double-sided tape is touch it to the hardware of your bag, because then your strap connectors, your D-rings, whatever, triangle rings, they don't sit well later. Okay, so we can set these aside. We're just getting like all of the prep work done and out of the way before I quilt those. So now we can add our zipper pocket. This will be nice and quick. My preference is to add it to the side that's going to be left open. I find it easier to pull, but like my friend Brittany doesn't like that method. She'd rather add it to the side that's sewn shut. So it doesn't matter whichever side you want to add it to, you can. Just make sure it's centered and about 2.5 inches down from that top edge. So I got my little 2.5 inch wide ruler. Line that up with the center that I no longer can see. So I'm just making a teeny tiny little mark. Line that up. And then I know that my zipper overlay is 10 inches wide. If you followed the pattern exactly, yours is going to be like 9.5 inches wide. Or you can just go ahead and mark out the zipper pocket how the pattern is stated, and that's just like a super simple regular old zipper pocket. Nothing wrong with that. So got that in place. And then if you would like to, you could add a little woven label under that zipper overlay. I always think it's so cute. And then you could use a 4.5 to stitch that on, or a 5, whatever you'd like. I'm just going to start my needle in that top right corner, top left corner, top right as I'm looking at it. And then we're going to do a consistent 1/8 inch around the outside. And I'm using a very obvious thread, so I gotta be careful. And then I'll pull that thread to the back. I'll go nice and slow to get that corner right where I need it to be. Nice long tails. And voila. And now I can match my threads. And we're going to cut this open. And then this is my preferred method currently in life for a zipper pocket. But you can truly just follow any method you like. You do want to leave it open at the bottom to turn the bag through, but that is the only must do. All right, and then I like my zipper pull zipping off the fabric to the left. And I'll lay this down and top stitch it at about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, my bad. Lining up one side, but leaving the other to trail off. I'll attach that. What? I was like, well, that wasn't my bobbin already, but my bobbin did something. So you cannot have loose thread like that in the bobbin. So I'm gonna unwind it until it's back to being tighter again. Here we go. And throw away the bad thread. Get that back in there. Excuse you. And then the other side of the zipper pocket, right sides of your lining are touching, and we're lining up the zipper tape. Okay. And now that that is attached, you could press this. However, with the materials I'm using, it's kind of thick, so it's not going to sit flat. So we're just going to press this down and top stitch. And here is another thing I like to do is I will leave my needle in. I'll come across this open end of the zipper and top stitch over it. And that is going to prevent my zipper pull from ever being able to slide off there. And again, we're continuing to stitch that down nice and flat. This method does, however you want to say it, add a little bit of bulk to the top of the zipper pocket. So if that is not your vibe, don't do it. Don't do it, girl. All right, I'm adding double-sided tape on my stitches. Pressing that down. And then we're going to peel that off. If you are new to doing a zipper like this, I would recommend just peeling one piece of tape first and then lining it up and then peeling the other. But if you feel like you know what you're doing, you can just do them both at the same time. And then line that up. Press that down into place. Make sure everything's nice and even. And then I just leave both sides open, zipper pull off. Make sure you remember how big your zipper pull is so that you can leave enough space to bring it back through. And I do this because right now your teeth are perfectly aligned. There's no weird gaps. You're not going to have to readjust and risk messing up the alignment or anything like that. We can just keep going and then we can stop. If you have a pop tab pull or one of my thinner zipper pulls, you can go all the way to the end and then push it back in, but I've got this big shaped bow pull. So I want to leave enough to wiggle that through with the needle down. And then get that through, zip it back up, make sure you readjust, and then it's out of the way. And then we'll just continue on to sew that complete. I'll pull those threads to the back to tie them off. And then you can trim that zipper tape down if you'd like. Just take a lighter across. Make sure that's all good. Okay, and then we'll lay that flat and trim that excess down at the bottom. If you don't want to have that excess at all, you can cut one shorter and just make sure the shorter one is on top. And then we're going to flip this around. This is my preference. We're gonna fold that birthing hole up, and then starting at a bit of an angle, we will sew this shut, going all the way to the top. And then trim that excess. And that little bit of an angle helps it so that all of your bulk can sit flat and out of the way. So we're gonna fold this equally on this side, all the layers at once. And then we'll start up at the top with about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then increase at an angle, a quick little angle, to about a 5/8. And then we can flip this open. And that creates our little zipper pocket with a nice clean edge for us to top stitch later. And then before I get too far, one of the last little prep items before I go back to the exterior is to add some double-sided tape to the top for when we put this all together. It'll help us hold it in place. And then it's my last little hang in there label. I'm like, do I use it? Okay, I'm gonna use this little Creativity Blossomed tag from Heartwood and Hide. This is one of my designs on the French green clay, but I just feel like this side of the bag is going to be completely empty. How boring. I can't have that. So I'm going to mark the center. And then I'll go ahead and measure like 3 inches down for this one. I've got a little 3-inch wide ruler. Find the center. And we'll sew that on. I don't know why I keep leaving the tiniest little threads to tie off with. Okay. And there is that. Oh my God, I love it in there. Okay. That is our prep work out of the way. And now I'm going to finish The exterior, I'm going to quilt it, and then we're going to add our zipper tabs, strap connectors, thanks, and put it all together. Stitch length out of 4, thread tails long. Let's go ahead and get started. Pull my threads. I'm going to start on this little one here, just to ease in. I'll take a look. Oh, that's going to be really fun. It's got this fun little puff to it. All right. Whew. I'm going to do this big flower next. Lock it in. And then I have to remember, like, it's not gonna look perfect, and that's okay. And then I also have like top stitching and seam allowances. I've got my strap connectors to add to. So like whatever it turns out to be is okay. And I also remember I have to do 2 of these. Also, nothing says that I have to do all that I have marked out, but I will. This is fun. And normally I like to end it on an edge if I can, but you can see that is literally going to be impossible. So just really long thread tails. And pull that thread up and through to tie that off. And I'll probably secure it with some glue, maybe. Although I think my strap connector honestly might go like smack dab right over that. I should have marked those out before I traced whatever I was gonna do, but it is what it is. All right, so here's a little edge flower leaf. Just not great with words. Oh, it's so pretty. And like the wrinkles in the deck of the light are not showing through to the other side because I have that foam on there. And that foam isn't reflecting the wrinkles, luckily, on this vinyl. All right, we've got that. But I also need to remember I didn't start with a full bobbin. And I hope that doesn't bite me in the butt. And you could also, if you're quilting, maybe attempt to quilt and then add your deck of the light over it. Okay. I think it's okay without that leaf there. I think it'd be a little too many leaves like right in a row. And then I think we're okay without this flower. I really like the way it looks, but I might add I don't know, I feel like I need a little flower down. Well, all right, never mind. I'll add the flower I have stitched, or I should say marked out, because it feels like that space is kind of empty. So we'll stitch out that center. And again, what I have kind of marked out doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's going to end up looking like. And you just have to kind of be okay with that. Or you can stress yourself out trying to perfect it to the exact way you have it stitched out, and that's okay too. But I think as well, you kind of have to remember you're working with two different mediums, thread and pen, and they're going to end up just looking different. Okay. So that's that one done. Kind of feel like it's lacking there, but maybe I'll put my nameplate there. I think that'll be cool. Next one. Ooh, this one is way more complicated. All right. We'll start down here. Oh, I should have changed my bobbin. Okay, that one only has 1, 2, 3, 4. That's okay. I think I could still add a 5th, but it might look kind of weird. So I'll go ahead and end that one. Hopefully I didn't ruin my bag. Let's see. I think it's okay. Oh, no, I think it's fun. I like it. Okay, and then we'll go up. Goodness. Stop hitting the mic. And stitch the flower leaf that's here. Just love. Okay. I don't think I like this top one, like at all. I'm wondering if I have a different kind of marker, different color. I don't know that I do. Just thinking, like I could do one here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. kind of create this cute little combo of flowers. And it's so funny, like, oh, after stitching it out, I'm drawing them even differently. I still didn't change the bobbin. Truly playing with fire here. Okay, I think I can get through the leaf, the bobbin I have. I did it. I'm going to tie these first. Wait, that doesn't. Does that? Yeah, that goes with this one. I was like, why don't they match? Because I pulled one longer. Okay, and then I'll see what that looks like. Because, I mean, both sides don't have to have the same amount of quilting on them. And I think the flowers, like, the flowers are a little elementary. Very simple, but I think they're still really fun and effective and playful. So I like that about it. Oh, I think it's really fun. I don't think I'm gonna add another one because you think about it, you got your strap connectors. Like, do I want to add a leaf coming down from the top like I have on the other one? But I think it's good. I think it's really good. So we can move on. Amazing. Okay, 1.5 inches down, 5 inches in. 2 of these. All right. So 1.5 inches down. and then 5 inches in. So I like to use 2 different rulers. And what I will do is I will set this into those rulers. And that way it's nice. It's as straight as it can be. Okay. I sent Brittany a picture and she's like, how are you doing your connectors? Because she's like, you're going to cover it up. I was like, oh, I know. Thought about that after. It's fine. It's fine. All right. It's better if you peel your tape before you start sticking it down or lining up your rulers. We'll need those again. Now we're going to stitch that into place. What am I pulling? Oh goodness. There we go. All right, now don't flip this and tie your threads off yet because I've got to stitch this one down. And I should have switched my stitch length back, but I did not. So it is inconsistent on the connectors, but not by too terribly much. Okay. Now I can flip it over, tie these off. You can also add rivets to these if you would like, if you don't trust your thread to bear the load. But this Tex 90, Tex 70, whatever I'm using, it's good. From Amon. Amon. All right, and then this was the side I said I was going to add my nameplate onto. Oh, Lord. Where are you from? It's okay. All right, so I don't know. Maybe I will add a rivet. I'll just mark it out for now. Actually, I think it'll break it up nicely if I add that rivet. Man, now I'm like, is that centered? That's a 5. That's a 5. It's good. It's good. It's good. My hole punch over here is always messed up because Dorothy pretends it's a drink machine. And I know, someday I'll miss that. It doesn't bother me. It makes me laugh, but. All right, so I'm adding that hole, my cap, and post. I like to put the post in the bottom and then the cap on top. Yeah, I think that's really nice looking. And truly, like, the rivet is now like second line of defense. If your stitching comes out at any point, you've got that rivet to help hold, reinforce that. And then, yeah, I'm gonna add my nameplate over here. It'll be cute. Very cutesy, very demure. And then I'm gonna do like 2.5 up from the bottom. It's kind of scary doing a nameplate that is not in the center, but I think it'll be worth it. I like it. Yeah. All right, and then I know, I need to add that, but I'm gonna add this to this side. The bottom of the bag is going to be attached to only one side to start. So you do not stitch across the bottom until later. And that's only if you want to have a really hard time. But what I can do is trim this down. And that's another reason we added this like decorative stitch, is because we're not going to be adding a base stitch. And then I'm going to add tape to the top of this side for our zipper to be attached to in a few moments. All of this prep work has now led us to a point where this bag is going to be done quick. Okay, we're just squeezing those connectors back into place. The time we've wasted, no, it's not wasted, but the time we've spent doing everything, they've kind of loosened up a little bit. All right, and then my clips need to come off so that I can line those up perfectly. And if you don't feel comfortable putting both on at the same time, like you're worried something's gonna come off, just sew the one on. Just do that. I'm pulling my thread to the back. And like especially there, I'm able to pull my thread to the back now because I didn't add the other side yet. But if I had added the other side and did what I just did, the connector probably would have flown off the bag and smacked me in the face. Just because the tape I'm using is so small. Okay. One and a half and 5 inches. And then I am done with my rulers, so I can put them away. Make sure that's nice and straightened. Pull some long thread tails. I think that is one of my, like something I don't do often enough is leave myself long thread tails. So here's a sewing goal for myself. Leave longer thread tails. Butthead. All right. I didn't end that well enough. So I have a skipped stitch. Okay, I'm gonna leave, really long threads. I'm gonna grab a needle. Luckily it's only one, and I was like just about done sewing. So we might be okay here. Thread my needle. I'm gonna go through that hole. Okay. Oh, might leave these over here. Little needle nose pliers. There we go. That is my chair, by the way. Making the most noise ever. Okay. Oh boy, that was not a hole I wanted to go in. That's what she said. Doesn't help that I've got a curved needle. It wasn't always curved. It has just become curved. Okay, well that is apparently the needle. That is the hole I'm going in. Now I can leave that back there. I'm going to take this one on top and close up the area so that it never happened. Who's gonna know? Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. They're not gonna know. I'm just gonna tie all of them together. Everything back here. All right. Ow. Okay, adding a rivet. And again, we're not attaching the base to this side yet. We can't. Oh my gosh, this vinyl is so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my two short sides. I want my zippers to be zipped shut in the same direction. Yep, so that's just what I'm starting with. And then we need to center the zipper. It's going to have about 1 inch on either side. And you want to press it gently into place. That's good. And now we've got our lining here. And we're going to place that right sides together. I'm laughing because there is a very old live video I did making a Lauren bag. Because this bag is so large and my camera fell, and I'm like, I wonder if it's going to happen again. I bet it will. All right, 3/8 of an inch. You could do 1/4 if you wanted, but 3/8 is my preference. Watch out for your zipper. Unzip it if you have to a little bit. Just make sure everything is taped together. And because of my bulk, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting that 3/8. That's okay. Go all the way. And then we're going to open this up, top stitch on the vinyl, not through the lining. This is my preference. We're going to top stitch that down all the way. Oh, I'm increasing that stitch length to a 5. Moving everything out of the way, making sure your seam is pressed down. And then press. Oh, it's so pretty. We're going to leave our zipper pocket open. Grab the next side. And then center. And just make sure that you're not stretching your zipper, or that's going to cause like weird bumpy waves. Like that. But it's going to be kind of difficult because your strap connectors should be in the same place, kind of fighting each other. And if your strap connectors are not in the same place, I hate to say this, but maybe reevaluate where they're placed. All right, and now we have the two long sides together technically, because you have your base added to one side and not the other. And now to explain why that is that way is so that you can easily top stitch your zipper. If you wanted to add your base and top stitch your base, you're going to have to like open it up and top stitch your zipper in a very strange way. And I think that the top stitching on the zipper is way more important than the top stitching on the base. But you could also attempt to try to like recreate this bag as maybe like a drop-in with a recessed zipper panel or something, and then you'd be able to top stitch everything. All right. And as close to a 3/8 as we can get. So underneath, I have laid that seam flat so that I can top stitch through it. And I'm repressing underneath. You should not be sewing through your lining. If you want to sew through your lining, do not top stitch through the entire exterior, or it's going to look real bad. There we go. And now we can place the bottom panel back on. This is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Just lining that up. Right sides together. You could tape this if you wanted to, but just hold it. Tape. Tape or clip. I'm gonna cut that down since I cut the other one down. Okay, and now the fun part. We are going to clip everything right sides together. And we're going to sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the exterior and increase to a 5/8, a scant 5/8 on the interior, just along the sides. A little worried because my panels don't line up. And I'm just wondering if I'm wrong or it's wrong. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then trim that down. Yeah, they should be the same size, and I know I cut that one to the same size, so maybe it's 4.5 inch. It might be 4.5 inch. Yeah. But hey, now I know. So I'll just trim that to match. My bad. The pattern piece is not wrong though, because people have made so many. I would have known by now. But the way I used to make these is I would cut the lining to match the pieces after I sewed them together. Okay, so we're going to start at a 5/8 this time, ending with a 1/2. So we're going to square the bottom of the exterior, but we're going to leave the bottom of the interior open. We're going to leave that open so we can turn the bag through nicely. Fold that flat and just go line, stitch line to stitch line. And if you wanted to, you could decrease your stitch length. unzipping so that my layers can sit nice and flat so there's no weird bulging. And then I'm cutting the excess out at an angle. But now you can see we've just got the bottom wide open, and we're gonna sew that shut through the zipper pocket. And this makes it so it is super easy for us to flip the bag right side out. Feels so fun with all that foam. Love it. Okay, and then super, super important while you're here is to poke out those corners. Just get your thumb in there and poke into that until it sits nice. So I just put my thumbnail up and poke that out. You don't want it to curve in on itself. So if it is, don't settle for it. Always kind of rearrange that. Okay. So now we can pull our lining out, push the zipper pocket out, and then we're going to grab these so that they are right sides together. Oh no, I didn't back stitch well enough, so we're just gonna close that back up, and we can switch back to like a 4 stitch length since we're done top stitching. So here we will have right sides together. And this is like we're creating a bottom panel. So if this seems silly to you, the way this is sewn together, just go ahead and create it like you would the exterior with those pieces cut that way. And we'll do 1/2 inch or just a little bit over if you'd like to make sure that your lining is a nice snug fit. Just bringing those together. Back stitch. We'll trim that excess down. And then instead of finding the centers, etc., you're only going to have one seam to create your squared bottom, but you're still lining up this to the center, and then you've got a seam on one side. And then we'll do 1/2 inch to 5/8 seam allowance there, whatever floats your boat. And trim down that excess. And then we're going to sew the pocket shut and rivet our handles on after we rearrange the lining to sit nicely, and it fits so nicely. Love it. Lining up our zipper pocket lining. Press that zipper pocket down inside. Line up all that. You can zip your zipper pocket shut. Zip your bag shut. I love the offset label. All right. And then we will rivet our handles on. So I just need 4 clips and then this little template from Jolie Lee Creations. It's a strap end guide. So I just use holes C and A. C and A. I used to kind of eyeball this and I was like, wait, I have a tool I can use. So all I'm gonna do is punch all those holes and then rivet the handles on. Grab my handhold. Punch. 2 hands till it pops. And if you have a handheld punch and it's not quite punching, you can get a sharpener. I know it's a bit of an investment, but it can also sharpen your, dies for any other tools you have. Just FYI. We do have a coupon code that is automatic. If you add a hole punch to a $100 order, your hole punch becomes free because we have thousands that need a home. So I'll put this in the back, poke it through to the front, and add the cap. And then don't forget to set your rivets. I know it's easy to be like, oh, I'm done, but you gotta set that rivet, man. Well, there's a little bit of texture on my vinyl, but I'm okay with that. And honestly, you could have, waited until it was quilted to interface that deck of the light. I just didn't want to come back to my press. And I'll go ahead and set these handles off camera. But other than that, this bag is complete. It's so stinking cute. You can tell it's a really simple pattern, but easy to kind of elevate with how you create it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you watched the Society Marathon, I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!